What is up, people? Party people? People of any variety. Hope you guys are doing well. Stream was really fun today. I played Fortnite like all day. I sort of like lost track of time until about 6. We played with Ava. Always a good time. Just shooting the shit. I don't think we got any wins, but we got pretty close a few times and had some sweet plays. I'll be uploading one of them on my Twitter and my Instagram, so feel free to give that a follow if you want to see it, or if you want to keep up to date with me on either of those platforms. The links will be in the description. Yeah, good stream. I got like so much sleep last night. I don't know what you guys did on the weekend, but I on Sunday after, so I streamed, and then that was pretty much it on Saturday night. And then Sunday I woke up at 8:30 a.m. after going to bed at 4 a.m., which is not fun for anybody who's done that before. And then I went and bussed all the way across town to hang out with Max, and he needed help stripping some of the mod work he'd done on his car. He put in his own sound system and like a lot of like vinyl audio insulation, so that insulation, so that he could so that the car just sounded better, like it was not as much road noise and stuff like that, because it was apparently very loud before. So I helped him strip it down and basically helped him take out all the parts. And when I say I helped, he just gave me a wrench and was, or like a ratchet or whatever, and was like, here you go, unscrew these bolts. And then that was pretty much it. So it was really cool. If any of you need help disassembling your your Matrix XR from 2009 to 2014, holler at me. But yeah, it was fun, but it was long. We were in the sun all day. It took 8 or 9 hours to do, to like disassemble it, strip everything, put it back together and tidy up and everything like that. So it was a long day, but it was fun. And we were in the sun at least part of the day. We had nice shade, which was really nice, and there was a good breeze, so it didn't get too crazy. And there was not like major UV exposure. As you guys can see, I'm not burned anywhere. Maybe I got a little sun on my nose, but my nose is always red, so who knows? Not this nose. So that was fun. But ended up, you're out in the sun all day on 4 hours of sleep. By the end of the day, you just crash. So at about 11, I just laid in my bed and was like, I think I'm just going to watch it go. So I got like 12 hours of sleep last night, which was really nice. Woke up today at about 11. Streamed, was really good. Tomorrow we'll be playing Rocket League pretty much exclusively. I won't even start with Fortnite tomorrow, just because I didn't play Rocket League at all today. It sort of slipped my mind, and then I was like, just keep playing Fortnite. Why not? But I do want to get to the new event that came out today, the new beach ball mode. Seems like it's curveball, so probably going to be trash. But again, we'll see how much better it is in terms of a new game mode than the previous one, which was Spike Rush, which I didn't play too much, but that was an improvement on the Ghostbusters theme, which sucked ass. So that's pretty cool. The new DLC's out. Don't think I'm going to pick it up, but hey, whatever. Play some games. So if you guys want to hop on early tomorrow, I'll start with games. We'll just play for fun with whoever wants to play, just because, why not? And then I'll play some ranked, and then 6 p.m. Eastern time as usual will be Tourney Tuesday. So anybody who wants to join that, feel free to join up those. So we'll just play a lot of games tomorrow with subs. If there are no subs who want to play, I'll just be grinding ranked as per usual, try and get to 1750 in 2s and 3s. I think that'll be my goal for tomorrow. What else? I don't know. I don't really have anything else on the docket. Oh, you know what? I did have something I wanted to talk about today, which was over-exaggeration, and it's something that we are all, myself included, we're all guilty of, especially on social media. I came across a tweet that was liked by somebody who I follow, and it was a young girl, probably in her late teens, early 20s. I assume so, because she was talking about posting nudes, so I'm assuming if she's doing that, she's probably of age. You can only hope. So she's posting nudes, and I didn't see any of them, but her tweet was, me post nudes, everyone, oh my god, you're an ethot, you're a whore, stop posting nudes, you have no real content. And then it was basically just bitching about that kind of reaction, which sucks. I mean, you should never be, just because you don't agree with somebody posting nudes doesn't mean you have to shit on them for it. It's their body, it's not yours, so don't tell them what to do with it. Fair enough point. I dug a little deeper and I looked at the replies, because it got a lot of traction. There were a couple hundred replies. I was scrolling through them, and she was active in the in replying to the replies in the conversation, and from her own mouth, it started off as she was like, well, it's not everyone, like it's not everybody who's doing this, and then it was like it's only like 0.2% of people. So it's like, hey, number one, don't say everybody, because that is literally 1 in 500 people. That's nobody. And this is sort of the problem when you post content online, and this is what I don't understand, and it gets to be, when it gets to be a gendered issue, it gets a little bit more confusing, but remove gender from the equation. Oh yeah, her other point was that when guys post nudes and butt photos and stuff like that, they don't get flamed. And it's like, if if anybody's posting nudes to get attention, it's there are better ways of getting attention. But whatever. Again, I have the same opinion. It's your body. You do whatever you want with it. I don't get to tell you what to do with it. I just will not. I just won't follow you because that's not the content I want to consume on my Twitter feed. Maybe at other times. But yeah, so the whole thing was like, oh, guys always get praised for it and girls always get flamed for it by everybody. And it's like, number one, you then later admit that it's 0.2% of people hating on your post, which is 1 in 500, which is nothing. Like, if you can't handle 499 compliments and 1 insult, you probably shouldn't be posting content online. And this is sort of an interesting thing, because if you're somebody who posts content like regular, like a Let's Play, for example, and you get 499 comments that are good and 1 that's bad, you're over the moon. So I don't understand why people who are into sort of more, adult content, pornographic content, whatever you want to call it. Some people will refer to it as sex work, which, I mean, I guess it's digital sex work if you're selling your nudes. But either way, you're posting your content. You have to be like, if you're going to get that upset that you have to tweet about it over 1 in 500 people flaming you for putting your content out there, like, you might be a little too thin-skinned for content creation. You know what I mean? Like, I would say that most people who come by my stream are cool, and then there are some people who come by because they're salty that I roasted them in Rocket League and they try and pick a fight. That rarely happens. Do I go on Twitter and I'm like, stupid 1-year-olds, like, no, because you have to recognize that that's going to happen and you have to be ready to deal with it on an emotional level. You can't be, if you're gonna let that one comment get you down out of 500, you gotta figure that out, because it's a really unhealthy way to approach content creation. Like I said, you can post whatever kind of content you want as long as it's agreed, as long as it abides by the terms of service of the platform on which you're posting said content. But as soon as you get to the point where somebody flaming you upsets you and you have to make it into a thing, like, you might want to rethink your career choice then, if you're going to be posting nudes, or if you're going to be trying to monetize your body. Because anybody who tries to monetize their content in any way is going to encounter pushback. And if your pushback is 1 in 500 and you're choosing to focus on that rather than the 499 people who think you're attractive and want you to continue posting content, you might want to rethink your career path, because there's going to be a lot more. Your ratio is going to get, the more popular you are, your ratio is going to get a lot more evened out with people who profess to not like you and people who profess to like you. So it's this thing about exaggeration. It's very attention grabbing and it's very juvenile, and I think we all need to at least think about the language we use. We had somebody come into the stream who opened with the line like, oh, I don't know, something Fortnite's a dead game. And when you ask somebody like that, rather than just immediately flaming them, you take a moment and you try and meet them halfway, and you're like, I did this with another guy who was talking about League of Legends. Where's your proof that Fortnite's dying? World Cup's in 4 days. It's a $30 million tournament. Not a lot of dead industries are, throwing $30 million around. Fortnite is still one of the most consistently top viewed games on Twitch. And he's like, well, I don't mean dying. It's just an expression. It's like, no, it's a buzzword that people try to do. They try to project, like, if they want Fortnite to be dead, or if they don't like Fortnite, they're like, dead game, baby game. I mean, I've done it in jest, as a joke. And he's like, well, what I meant was Fortnite's not growing as fast. And you're like, that's fair. That doesn't mean it's not popular. It's a very fair observation. Obviously, there's a ceiling for everything. Rocket League seems to have hit it. We haven't seen a tremendous amount of growth in the last, if you're using, the finals of the World Championship as like a benchmark, which I think is fairly decent because that should be your peak, right? It hasn't grown a lot. Even the week-to-week games in RLCS league play hasn't really grown a lot. It still sits around like 40 to 60,000, and that's fine. Maybe that's just the size of your niche. Does it mean Rocket League is getting less popular? No. What it means is it's not growing as fast. Is it a dead game? No. I mean, of course, it's a baby car soccer game. It's completely dead. Omega lol. But it doesn't mean it's a dead game. And people should stop just throwing these things around, because when you do that, it normalizes things and it becomes reality. And then you just have a whole bunch of miscommunication where somebody tunes in to RLCS and was like, 180,000 people watching a dead game. That seems kind of weird. Or, I'm betting over 200K, over 300K for Fortnite's World Cup. My guess is 350, 375K peak viewership. We had somebody be like, League of Legends is dying. And then I was like, okay, so where's your proof? Like, where's your proof League of Legends is dying? And he sent me a graph. And the graph was shaped where I'll try and draw it relative to you guys. It was like 2016, there was a big peak, and then it sort of like fell down a lot. And then in the last 2 years, it was trending upwards again. So it's like, did it crash? Yes. Hype wears off. People stop tuning in because the new hotter thing is on, and there's a large group of people who just go with the new hotness. But it's been trending upwards for the last 2 years. So how can you say it's dying? It's literally doing the opposite of that. It's gaining a more steady, consistent fan base. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you really have to like think about, just because something isn't what it once was doesn't mean it's dead. Doesn't mean it's, you know, it's dying. It's, you know, no, that's just not how that works. If something goes from, you know, even Apex Legends, take Apex Legends. That was a great thing. Beat out Fortnite for like 2 weeks straight. Everybody was playing Apex Legends. Fortnite's a dead game, blah, 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 Omega lol. Fortnite's a dead game. This is a dead game. That's a dead game. Apex Legends, the Fortnite Slayer, blah, blah, blah. Now look at it. Is it dead? No. They still have a good competitive scene and a bunch of content creators who really like playing their games. So it's always going to be maintained, you know, priority. Are they going to be able to grow it? It remains to be seen. Did it slow down from its initial burst? Absolutely. Apex Legends sitting at 25, 26K viewers right now on Twitch. Does that make it a dead game? No. It's got 10 times more than Rocket League's average. So be careful. That would be my advice to everybody. Be careful about how you use your language, because at the end of the day, the sensationalist sort of approach we've all taken to language recently is kind of, it's misleading, and I don't think it's good for communication. I think that when you paint everything in sort of like, oh, it's dead or dying, this is the worst game ever, this is the best game ever, stuff like that, like you really have to think about it. You have to put, and I have to do this more too, and I have to put in my own effort for that as well, because I don't want to be, you know, flaming everybody for doing that and then be an example of what I'm flaming people for. So that's my advice. That's something that I'm gonna sit on. Hopefully you guys can see where I'm coming from with that. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys very much for watching the vlog and the stream. As always, I appreciate you all very much. Tomorrow is a Rocket League filled day. We're not gonna have any Fortnite, but yeah, should be a good time. I hope you guys enjoy your evenings, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.